business for me is number one. If you know a farm that sells vegetables, milk, meat or anything else, make an effort to use that business. This maybe in some cases less convenient, but that's something as the business grows we can adapt to. Most farms have delivery systems and local rounds, and they'll bring your product to you. And what's more, the contact with the farm will make you feel more in contact with your food, which is really the start of all of our journeys into buying more quality, sustainable food. In my case, I offer a regular pop-up, a butchery, where customers can come and see the butchery in person and chat about meat and the farm. I also offer regular delivery rounds and courier service operating from my website, and I have an email subscription service, so things like that. Another great way to support farms is if you're given a choice, buy British. So a supermarket only sells what it sells because people want it. If we literally boycotted imported foods that we could source locally from the UK, then that's what they'll be forced to do. Larger demand for local UK produce will naturally even out the pricing too as a supplier. So you'll have an increased demand and you're more likely to be making a profit. And once a farm makes more profit, inevitably they'll be able to compete in the market better. So, your quality local produce could end up being priced completely in the same as imported. And because you're using it all the time, farmers can then afford to do so. For me, provenance. So question imports and if they're valid. So when shopping or eating out, ask the seller or the waiter where the produce is from. The business that is choosing the produce is perhaps sort of thought of price first and foremost. And that might be a factor that provenance isn't actually brought into it. They might not realise that buying quality local produce might bring them more trade if that's something they did and they could show to their customers. My customers are loyal because for the first time they taste the products that we do, they taste great, and then they're loyal because they come back and it always tastes great, and we do our best to keep that loyalty, but we also keep that contact with the customer. To us, that's really, really important. Another really big one is education. So visit farms when they offer you a chance. Do farm tours. Use the chance to meet the animals. Bring family members. Bringing your family is a really, really powerful experience, and it will bond the family with farming. So I recommend doing so and not brushing over the details. If animals are bred for meat, make sure the children understand this and give them some examples. It's an important lesson in their upbringing, knowing where their food comes from, and hopefully by doing this, we're going to breed a generation who do understand these things, and we're not going to have the same problems that has happened to sort of our generation with the link with farmers and food. We'll hopefully get a whole generation that just understand it, and it'll make the whole future of farming and food and provenance better. So that sort of brings me on to shopping locally. So shopping locally is a really big one. That's probably the next heading. So shopping locally will increase sales in the local area, but not only that, it will help small businesses, and most likely the supply chain will lead back to a local farm. So shopping locally, even if it's not with a specific farm, is very, very likely it will somehow trace back to that. The very fact that someone is an independent business usually means they use small companies, a local veg wholesaler or a local butcher or a local farm for eggs, or they'll buy local milk for their cafe and things like this. So when it comes to a place that sells food of some kind, generally they're going to try their best to match their quality. So if there's someone that's really into quality, provenance, sustainability, and they're trying to sell those things to you, there's a huge chance they use a local farm, and the local farm does their best to make sure that really nice customer of theirs gets some good stuff, because they don't want to lose that customer because we're loyal. So shopping locally can really make a huge difference to all of these things that we're talking about. So I would say, which a lot of you already have done, my next heading would be connect with us on social media. And so the very fact that you're watching this is probably the very fact you're watching this, it probably means you are on social media and you're seeing it. So thank you very much. The beauty of social media is it can give us a chance to say these things to you, to help, to put our point across, to listen to your point of view to us as well. That farmers on social media are brilliant. They're incredibly knowledgeable. They're incredibly approachable. They will happily answer questions. They'll kindly debate issues. I've had a lot of debate recently. People kind of anti-farming or anti-establishment or whatever. It depends on what angle you want to come from. We've all been chatting, we've all been having a lot of fun with it, to be fair, and it's been sensible debate. We've had a few haters, don't get me wrong, we always get those. That's X, Facebook or whatever for you. But generally, I don't think I'd have a business that I've got whatsoever if it wasn't for social media connecting with our customers, showing you what we produce. We're not afraid to show you we produce animals for meat. We're not afraid to show you that we run our machines to create lovely harvested wheat and oats and stuff like this, which we sell into the market to make bread or biscuits, or we feed our animals with it. We don't brush over the points. Back to what I was saying earlier on one of the previous points, we don't brush over the fact that what we produce is to be eaten, and if they weren't to be eaten, they wouldn't exist. And so we are doing our best on social media to promote a message, to show you and to help you, to guide you, to say, look, we're here, we're doing our best, and we're building something for the future that everyone can be a part of. So by using farms like us, following us on social media and following the points that I've said here, you know, that's something we can really do. One thing some people have asked me a lot recently, I've just got some piece of paper here. I'll include the link I'll include the link. But I think education's a massive deal. And I think farming should be in the national curriculum. And some of the teachers don't know nothing about it anyway. So the teachers themselves, if they were teaching it, haven't really got a clue about farming. So what we need to do is we need to work on that. We need to get the education building, children in classrooms getting taught the right message. I recently took my son on a tour of a farm. A tour of a school, and they're talking about climate change, and they had a screen up, and on the screen it was a farm and it had cows, and it was talking about cows are killing the planet. So what's happening is teachers don't have a clue, and they're teaching children that cows kill the planet because of the methane. And for anybody that's actually in the know, they know it's a much bigger story to it than that, and it's being taught in schools as a black and white open shut case. And you know, so education's huge, quality is massive, buying British is huge, but nothing's more than the education side of things for me. One thing I've got written down here, a lot of people have been asking how they can help farms, especially when what's been going on recently with the inheritance tax. It's been a big deal. It's been a huge thing in the news. We've all seen people marching on London. What I would say is there's no GoFundMe link. I don't think there's any farms asking for any money. I mean, you would be amazed how many people have actually asked for a way of, a GoFundMe page to support farms. And I'd say first and foremost, follow these points. If you want to help farms, follow these points of what I've just said to you here on this video. But if you already do that, which is a good chance you're supporting farms, you already are, there's also a charity called RABI, R-A-B-I, and they support farmers in their toughest times. It's a really good charity. I'll include the links here as well. And they give money to farms if they're in hardship. They offer support for mental health on farms. And I'll include the link and you can look it up yourself, but they're fantastic. They've even given back to school grants so children who live on farms, family, get things like school equipment, school uniforms and things like this. And us on the farm, we've actually had RABI donate for our school uniforms before, and I mean, I couldn't speak any higher of them as well. So if you're already doing all these things and you want to go a step further, check out RABI and donate to RABI as well. You've been great. Cheers, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It's a pleasure. Thank you.